Hey, welcome back to another Just 5 Mins. Inching towards that 100th episode. I wonder what's going to happen. I don't know. Does the world end? You know, do we get visited by aliens or something? Anyway, I don't know where my brain's going. But what have we got? Well, it's Tim's Suggestions episode. My good friend Tim Abel, has popped a couple of things in. One, I have no idea what it does. I just read words and I can read the words, but I don't think I can piece things together. Okay, but just to put it into context, I think I get the fact it's a GitHub action. If you don't know, GitHub, you know, the big Git in the sky. Anyway, jokes aside, where lots and lots of people, companies use to store their coding repository for version control, all of that. Okay, if you haven't heard of GitHub, my goodness, come on, wake up, people. Okay, so there for a long time there's been GitHub Actions. Okay, so if you've got a project, doesn't matter what it is, you can apply actions, and that could be as part of your continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD pipeline. So it can do things like run tests. If the tests succeed, go and publish it to somewhere, or if it's just like me, it just updates the website. Yeah, no testing. Who would think? But anyway, but this is. There's an attest build provenance action. Okay, I get the words, and let me just read you a little bit. And I really do think I might need Tim to defer to Tim on this one, and maybe ask him to do a bit of a co-host show and explain why. Because there are some use cases, but I'm still a bit bemused. But anyway, from the description, it says generate signed build provenance attestations for workflow artifacts internally powered by the Actions Attest package. Attestations, if that's right, bind some subject, a named artifact along with its digest, no less, to an SLSA build provenance predicate using the in toto format. Now, if you understand that, I will pay you 10 quid, $10, whatever your money currency is. And I, like I say, I do think I really do need Tim to explain that one. Okay, I'm sure it's to do with when you have a GitHub action, you can put that in your pipeline and it does signed things and make sure it's all okay. Anyway, but the next one, and I promised I wouldn't do a double whammy on these things, but just because it's from Tim, they were both from Tim, these suggestions. Playwright, which actually I sort of do understand. I haven't used, but I've been aware of the name, what it is. It's essentially a modern web app end-to-end testing service, and you basically don't need to write code, and it works with any browsers essentially. So the idea is, this is where you can have you've got a web app, and even though you might have things like unit tests and end-to-end tests and goodness knows what, this is actually testing from the user perspective, i.e. what will happen running and working with your application. I'm simplifying it awfully, but it does cover a lot of language to use, things like Node.js, Python, Java, .NET at the moment, I believe, and TypeScript, which I suppose is a superset of JavaScript anyway, isn't it? But any browser, any platform, one API. But yeah, so this is running those tests as if a user would be running them. So it's been around for a little while, I think, but I'm glad that Tim sort of reminded on this one, because even if you've got a simple web application, you do want to be able to test it, make sure it works the way that you think a user would be working. So yeah, so it's really quite nice. It does code generation, it generates tests by recording your actions, saving them into whatever language. It's got an inspector, to step through the tests that you're working with, and obviously a trace viewer and things like that to see what happened. But it's quite big. It's used by a lot of big companies. So if you want to do web application testing, Playwright's probably one of the good ones. It's a bit like Selenium, but a little bit less codey. You know, I've had a quick look at the videos. As I say, I've heard the name a long time ago. But anyway, but that's what we've got this time around. I'm already gone over the 5 minutes just this time. So take care, and I will catch you on the next one.